Ladies and gentlemen, you are watching yet another episode of Lima Shenanigans of 1977. It's Thursday night, and you know what that means. It's time for your TNA Event Center Wrestling Report. And now here's the man to give you that report, Mr. Eric M. Lima.
Thank you very much, Mr. Announcer, sir. Well, hello there, everyone. Welcome to yet another episode of Lima Shenanigans 1977, episode 1658 of the show. Just like, I got some big news for you guys before we get started on. And I don't know if you can see this or not, but it is official. I have decided I have the Marvel vs. Capcom Fighting Collection, but I cannot play it until next week. That's the way it is. So there it is, right there next to the Game Boy Advance. Can't wait to play it. So that's really exciting. So unless Nintendo decides to give it to us a little earlier, it'll be next week. And since I bought it, I am cool. Alright, I am good. I cannot wait to play it. We're going to talk about what happened on TNA. This is the fallout from Emergence. And the system kicked off TNA. And they were addressing the locker room how they're going to take all the titles back. And then Spitfire interrupts the system. They challenged the Militia to a Knockouts Tag Team title match. But here's the stipulation. If Spitfire does not win, they have to split up as a team. That's the way it is. Meanwhile, Kushida and Laredo Kid went one-on-one. And it was a no contest because Josh Alexander both attacked Kushida and the Laredo Kid, interrupting the matchup. Kushida decided to challenge Alexander to a one-on-one match right now. Kushida chases Alexander. They beat the snot out of each other. Santino Marella makes the matchup. And as Santino Marella made the matchup, the match happened, and Josh Alexander ended up winning the matchup. And then afterwards, Kushida was going to the back, being helped to the back, but then Joe Hendry was tending to Kushida, and then he confronts Josh Alexander, and a little upset with Josh Alexander. Meanwhile, Jordan Grace, who this Tuesday night on NXT will be doing the Open Knockouts title Open Challenge on NXT for the very first time, but she's continuing in TNA. But who would be answering the call? But then Ariana Grace shows up and decided that she is going to be the liaison between TNA and NXT. Going to be very interesting. But, you know, you would be thinking, how did she get that job? Well, maybe there's one person, because there is one person that Ariana knows really well. Remember, her real name is Bianca Corelli, who, her father is Anthony Corelli, who we know him as Santino Marella. That's right. So, there's a connection. Let me tell you, it's going to be crazy. I hope you guys enjoyed the episode of Rant and Rave. We had a good time, as usual. And, well, again, we want to welcome Michael Bombardier. Great seeing him again. And so, the five of us, and I think I got the perfect, shoot for the commercial and all that. So, I can't wait for it. So, that's what I am going to do. So, I'll probably get a screenshot and rant and rave, and then we'll continue on from there. So, meanwhile, so where am I? I'm lost here. All right. So the Knockouts title Open Challenge, but Ariana Grace says, "I wish I was me," but I want to introduce you to someone who will challenge, and she's also my best friend, a fellow Canadian, Carmen Petrovich. So Carmen Petrovich, for the first time in TNA, getting a shot at the Knockouts title, and she is quite the knockout. You know, Carmen Petrovich may be a beautiful woman, but mess with her, and she probably slice what with that sword. I got two words for you, Lorena Bobbitt. Be careful. No, I'm only kidding. I'm only joking. I'm only kidding. Just be respectful towards the ladies, huh? So, anyways, Rosemary was watching the match from the rafters, and Carmen Petrovich gave it all she's got, but in the end, Jordan Grace proved to be very powerful for Carmen Petrovich, and ended up beating her 1-2-3. But as she was celebrating, the lights went out. But then when the lights came back on, Jordan Grace was knocked out, and there was a big old pillow in the middle of the ring. It seems like I get a feeling who's going to accept her open challenge this Tuesday night on NXT. Wendy Chu is the culprit with that, because I recognize that pillow anywhere. And Rosemary was laughing at that. So something going on with Wendy Chu and Rosemary. Heck of an alliance there. ABC addresses the system that they have to retain. They have a rematch against the system for the tag team titles, basically Eddie Edwards and Brian Myers. First class Casey Navarro and AJ Francis interrupts them and said you had to go through us, and they said, well, when we get done with them, we'll deal with you guys again. So, thus we beat you, didn't we? Well, there was a promo, and it looks like Xia Li is rumored to come to TNA. If she's heading her way to TNA, that adds to the Knockouts division. And I'll tell you one thing, if I were Ash by Elegance and Jordan Grace and all the other TNA Knockouts, watch your backs. Dang serious on that. Meanwhile, Zachary Wentz addresses being the X Division champion. So he worked his butt off, and like 2 years ago he was in a low place. So there's that. Speedball Mike Bailey interrupts Zachary Wentz and said, "Hey, I'm going to challenge you. I'm cashing in my rematch clause. So it will be you and me for the title of Victory Road." Zachary Wentz is okay. The Good Hands comes out, interrupts Bailey and Wentz, and then they said, "Oh, Jason Hotch should have been champion and all that." So they started brawling. So they had a tag team matchup, and Wentz and Bailey ended up picking up the victory over the Good Hands. Meanwhile, Steph DeLander was about to go out to address Matt Cardona, and then she tells PCO stay in the back. And so there's that. Rosemary addresses the Hive, Lyra Valkyria, Tatum Paxley. Will this be a tag team matchup coming up? We'll find out. Steph DeLander comes out, calls out Matt Cardona, and she says, "Why are you doing this?" And Matt Cardona says, "I own you. You're my property. It says here in this contract." She grabbed the contract, slammed it down, and it means nothing to me. And then as he was still continuing to harass her, PCO finally came out and basically chased Matt Cardona away. As Cardona was hiding behind DeLander and retreats. The Hardys also addressed the system, and then Eric Young and Jake Something went one-on-one. Eric Young picks up the victory. Both men did shake hands and was good sportsmanship after the matchup, but then something inside him snapped. He attacks Young from behind and started continuing to attack Eric Young until Steve Macklin came to Eric Young's aid, chasing Jake Something away. So it's a respect thing between Macklin and Young, definitely. So Gina Miller interviewed Joe Hendry about his tag team match with Mike Santana against the System. The System's Moose and JDC. And then he says he's worried about Josh Alexander. So Joe Hendry will focus on coming, and he is looking forward to. He says, "Excuse me, I got a TNA title to chase." So he may be targeting Nick Nemeth next. Then another new knockout is signed on with TNA. Heather Reckless will be part of the Knockouts division as she faces one-on-one against Giselle Shaw next week. And then Gia Miller interviews her, and then Ash Brown Elegance and George Iceman, the personal concierge, interrupts her, and then Giselle Shaw interrupts Ash and George Iceman, and then Giselle Shaw smacks Ash by Elegance in the face, and she's flipping out about it. Well, the main event begins, but beforehand, Josh Alexander returns to ringside to join on commentary. As Joe Hendry and Mike Santana took on the System's Moose and JDC, and during the matchup, Josh Alexander snuck in and attacked Joe Hendry. Mike Santana chased him away and hits Alexander. But that distraction cost them the matchup because Moose and JDC end up winning the matchup. And then Nick Nemeth is not that bad at Victory Road. I'm going to beat you and become still TNA heavyweight champion. So, that's it for Emergence. That is all for, not Emergence, but the fallout for Emergence from TNA Impact Wrestling. Thank you for watching this video. We heard tomorrow is the game of strategy, luck, knowledge, and daring. Bullseye is the name. And we got two major wrestling events, both happening at 8 o'clock. How am I going to do it? Well, I always multitask. I always find a way. So thank you for tuning in to the show. Keep watching this, or if you missed any other episodes of my show, watch them. So thank you for tuning in. So till next time, until another episode comes up, rolls on, and Mr. Announcer, hey, take us home.
That is all for today's episode. This is your announcer speaking for Eric Lima Shenanigans of 1977. A Big Beefy E, doing for Bob Saget Productions, and in association with Raven Beaufort Telepictures and Distribution. Thank you for watching today's episode. Tune in next time for another episode of Eric Lima Shenanigans of 1977. Goodbye for now.